Hey, thanks for tuning into my channel. If you're new here, hi. My name is KateyDiamondMUA. Not really. If you want to learn how I do my full coverage routine that completely hides and disguises my psoriasis, which is very severe, then keep on watching. Okay, so the first step for my full coverage routine is to wash your face. If you want a video on what I personally use for my skincare, let me know. I'm not a dermatologist, I am not a specialist, so that's why I'm not making that video right now, because I don't want to get dragged for it. Second step, hydrate your skin. This is my personal favorite right now. It is the Hard Candy Marilyn Monroe Face Serum. Next thing I do is shape up my face using a set of tweezers and this. And I just get rid of any excess hair around my top lip, eyebrows. You get the idea. What I do is moisturize again using this stuff. And the reason that I clean out my hair every time I do makeup is because I have a lot of hormone disorders going on right now. Still trying to learn how to balance them out correctly. So I grow hair. It's normal. It's natural, and I personally don't like having it on my face, so I get rid of it, and that's my choice. Next thing I do is my eyebrows, which I'm going to do off camera because I'm going to be making a whole separate video about that. And recently I've switched from using a brow pomade to using these products. This is the first one. It is this Unibrow Winky Lux product. It's just an eyebrow pencil with a spoolie on the end. I use the Milk Makeup Kush Fiber Brow Gel. It has fibers in it to add to your not lashes, eyebrows. And I use the shade Dutch. And then I use my favorite concealer right now, the e.l.f. Camo Concealer, to clean it up. So I'm going to do that off camera and I'll be right back. Okay, now before I jump into my eyes, I'm going to take some concealer, and this is how I do the base layer of the coverage. Like, this is how I start building the full coverage. I know my eyebrows look, I don't. So I get psoriasis right around my nose. Always, and it is the hardest to cover up. So what you're going to need is either a concealer that actually dries down. I, again, use the e.l.f. Camo Concealer. I'm sorry for the wonky lighting in here, by the way. I'm still trying to figure out like the best lighting situation. I'm still trying to figure that out. So you can use something that actually dries down, or you can use like a pot concealer. You know, I don't have any to show you at the time, but they come in like a little pot like this, and they don't, if they do dry down, it takes a while kind of thing. I'm just going to use up the leftover that I have on my hand here. And what you're going to do is you're going to spread that onto the areas that you want to cover up. And you're not going to blend it. So now I'm just going to put some more on the back of my hand here. I'm going to really coat this side of my nose as well. So you're going to spread it on. Look at my mirror here really quick. Really, like, make sure it's not streaky, but don't blend it. And then toss it anywhere else that you want some more coverage. I usually go around my lip here because I have a lot of scarring there. That's usually where I get acne. It's like right around my chin and mouth area. So I have lots of scars around that corner of my mouth that I just like to cover up. I have lots of psoriasis in my smile lines here, so I'll usually hit that up too. So you want something thick, something that's either going to set, or a pot concealer. Something you can kind of spackle on there and then layer over top. So we're just gonna cover up like normal acne, like these kind of spots and stuff up here. I'm not too worried about that. I'll get covered by my foundation. So what you want to do is make sure that your edges are flat and you don't have like globs of concealer, obviously. But you definitely don't want to blend this into your skin. You want to just leave it. So now, while this sets, I'm going to do my eyes off camera because this isn't an eye tutorial, this is a full coverage routine. And I'll be back to show you the rest. So like I said, don't touch this, don't blend it, leave it to dry while you do the rest of your face. As a side note, I am putting this out there as like a full coverage routine for psoriasis, but this is also super handy to know if you're in the cosplaying community, because usually you're going to be cosplaying some sort of 2D character and you want your face to be as flat as possible and as covered as possible. So this is a really good place to start if you're a cosplayer as well. Okay, now that I have my top lid done, I usually save my mascara and eyeliner till very last. So, excuse the half-done look. I'm going to take my favorite foundation, which right now is the NYX Can't Stop, Won't Stop foundation. And I'm trying another new shade today, Porcelain. I'm having a hard time trying to shade match to find my exact shade, so if it doesn't match, and basically what I'm going to do is I'm just going to spread a bunch onto my skin and blend it in with a beauty blender, and I will time lapse that for you now. Thing I forgot to mention also is I am still not blending out the concealer that is on my face. I'm going to go right over top of it with this stuff. I just realized this is too light for me, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to mix two foundations. So we're going to do a couple pumps of the Porcelain. I use a lot of foundation, by the way. Feel free. Thanks for that close-up, Katie. Excellent camera work. Feel free not to do this step and don't put as much foundation on as me. But I do like the full coverage face, and I pay a lot of money for makeup, so I want a lot of makeup on my face. That's what I do. So I'm mixing the shade Light into the Porcelain because apparently I don't know how to shade match, and I'm really terrible at it. Sure, that looks better. Excuse me while I put that on my face now. When you're blending your foundation, you always want to make sure that you words are hard. You always want to make sure that you are bouncing your beauty blender up and down and you're not swiping. If you're swiping your blender around, you're just gonna bring up product. You're make it streaky. You're gonna pull up all that concealer that you laid down before. All of that. So don't do that. Bounce. Just a tip. When it comes to the nose area, I use a lot of foundation because that's my biggest problem area. So again, feel free to adjust this as you need it. But yeah, that's where I have the most problems. So I put a lot there and then blend most of it away because obviously you're using a sponge. Sponges take away product. It is what it is. But you get the most even blending with a sponge. So pick your poison. Do it with a brush. I don't care. This is just what I do. And this isn't even the final step, so stay tuned for that. Just blend my life away. Right, now we're gonna move on to the concealer step. I'm gonna take the same concealer as before. It's really easy because you only need like a couple of products to get this full coverage look. And they're drugstore products, which is awesome. Again, I am using the e.l.f. Focus. I'm using the e.l.f. Camo Concealer. That didn't want to focus, apologies. And because I forgot to mention it before, I'm using the shade Light Ivory, which I believe is the lightest skin color that you can get. I also have this same concealer in white, which I'm about to show you how I use that as well. So I'm going to take my concealer all the way up under my eye this time. And I do use a lot. And then I'm going to hit those same spots again. Right in the nose. I'm going to hit up the center of my nose this time. Smile lines. Right around the corners of my mouth where I have all that scarring. That's about that. I just drop my phone everywhere. It's just, everything's a mess. And then to get that brightness, I'm going to take that same concealer line in the shade White. I'll pop that right there. And then I just take the pointy end of my sponge and blend. With my concealer under the eyes, I do blend it in an upward fashion. And I only blend that white into my lower, or my under eye. What's that called? I don't know. Words are hard. Can you tell it's been a while? Since I friggin' sat down and filmed anything? Goodness. So, blend that white all up under there. And then I just take what's left of the lighter concealer and do these highlight areas and blend out this concealer. So yeah, basically just blend until your arm falls off. So now is usually the point where I'll go literally stand with my phone in the sunlight to assess and see how bright my under eyes are and blah blah blah. And I've done that. So I'm actually going to take a little bit more white because I like a really bright under eye. And I'm going to pack some more on there. And obviously I'm using the shade White because I am pale AF. And that's what I like doing. Again, for the cosplay community, if you are using this tutorial, this is a really good product to pick up. You can never go wrong with having a white concealer. They're really good for doing cut creases, makeup looks, brightening areas if you are practically translucent like me. I'm just going to blend that out and I'll be right back. Now, at this stage of the game, you're going to have a lot of stuff on your face. And you're going to put even more on. I'm going to use two different brushes here. And my favorite setting powder, which is the Pretty Vulgar The Powder Room Translucent, words are hard, setting powder. See, the thing about this setting powder though is it's not translucent. It does have a little bit of a yellow base to it. So I really like using this to set my face. And the first thing I do is take a brush, and you want to do this specifically if you have psoriasis. I found that if you use a wet beauty blender to bake, it looks cakey and gross and it scales off and it just looks disgusting. But I find when I do this with a brush, it looks flawless. I'm going to do a little bit of baking under my eye. I don't do this step for very long, maybe like 2 minutes while I set the rest of my face. Like baking. Wow. Don't inhale it. Baking is a really super unnecessary step if you have psoriasis. I do it because, again, I like it and I put on a crap ton of makeup, so I want that makeup to not move. So I use a smaller brush to do my nose and under eyes, and then I just take this, and again, patting, not scrubbing. Pat, pat, pat. Don't forget your neck. By the way, I didn't show like any of that, but blend down your neck. Basically, my philosophy is I just pack like a crap ton on there, and then I take a little brush. I'm gonna use this one again. Ooh, did you see that? And now is where I'm gonna brush away any of that excess. And now the last thing I do, obviously I didn't let that bake very long because again, with dry skin, it's not really necessary. Baking in general actually isn't a necessary step of anyone's foundation, but it's like a trend thing. And I don't know. I like the result it gives me because it just fills in pores even more for me. I don't know. That was loud, sorry. So that's a you decision. So the next thing I'm going to do is finish up my eye look, and then I'm going to film my face routine. That's going to be a separate video. Look for that in a few days. So my next video will be showing you how I contour, blush, bronze, all of that. So I'm just going to finish up my eyes and my face, and I'll be back to show you how I finish my full coverage face. Alrighty, my face is on, all done. So the last step of my full coverage routine is this. I got this bottle on Amazon. I use setting spray in here. My current favorite is one by NYX, also drugstore, we love that. And it's a face mister. So you just spray down and it comes out in like a mist. And it only takes one pump because it mists your whole face. And that's it. I want to get dressed, throw my hair up a little more presentably, and I'll see you in a minute. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video.